With more than 2 million downloads, this is your number one source for true crime coverage in America. This is Murder in the Morning with Tony Bruschi and Stacey Cole.
From the Hit Killers Podcast, Murder in the Morning.
Well, I knew it had to be an interesting story when I woke up to texts from both you and my girlfriend with this in the headline.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? A sheriff has been arrested for murdering a judge in a Kentucky courthouse in his chambers. And this happens just after, wasn't there like a sniper and stuff too?
Yeah, there's a sniper in Kentucky this past week that I think injured either 5 or 7 people. I don't think killed anybody, but they found a body that they believe was the sniper.
In a shocking development, Letcher County Sheriff Shawn Stines has been arrested, and he's the sheriff too. It's not like it's some like off the hinge new deputy that they didn't know. It's a fucking sheriff of like 8 years. He's been arrested and charged with first-degree murder for the killing of District Judge Kevin Mullins inside the Letcher County Courthouse on Thursday. The incident has sent ripples through the small Appalachian community of Whitesburg, home to approximately 1,700 residents. I always say some of the scariest fucking places on this planet are small towns.
Yes.
Not ripping on, there are plenty of lovely, quaint little small towns. I can name many of them that I grew up around, but I tell you, in some other areas, there's fucked up small towns out there.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
And it's like this, where it's so small, very few, it's such consolidated power to so few people. And if there's shitty people in those places of power, good luck ever getting rid of them. The tragic event unfolded after an argument between Sheriff Stines, 43, and Judge Mullins, who is 54, just before 3 o'clock local time. According to Kentucky State Police, Mullins was shot multiple times and pronounced dead at the scene. Sheriff Stines surrendered without incident following the shooting. Kentucky State Police Trooper Matt Gayheart addressed the community, stating that the killing is an isolated incident with no ongoing threat to the public. Anytime a situation like this takes place, especially in a small town, it takes it shakes it to the very foundation of what the town is. And this is no different, Gayheart told the local outlet WJHL. The Kentucky Attorney General's office, led by Russell Coleman, along with Commonwealth's Attorney Jackie Steele for the 27th Judicial Circuit, are spearheading the investigation. Coleman emphasized the commitment to justice, stating on local media, "We will fully investigate and pursue justice." Governor Andy Beshear also responded to the tragedy, posting on Twitter, I will always call it Twitter, "Sadly, I have been informed that a district judge in Letcher County was shot and killed in his chambers this afternoon. There is far too much violence in this world, and I pray there is a path to a better tomorrow." The community's reaction has been one of profound sadness and disbelief. Lead County Prosecutor Matt Butler recused himself from the case due to personal ties with Judge Mullins. "We all know each other here. Anyone from Letcher County would tell you that Judge Mullins and I married sisters and that we have children who are first cousins but act like siblings," Butler explained. "For that reason, among others, I have already taken steps to recuse myself from my entire office." Well, that's the right thing to do right there.
Unlike our Supreme Court.
Yes.
Sorry, was that personal interjection there?
No, that's completely accurate. You're just stating fact. Lawrence B. Van Meter, Chief Justice of the Kentucky Supreme Court, expressed his shock and sorrow, stating, "I am shocked by this act of violence, and the court system is shaken by this news. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, several local schools were placed on lockdown as a precautionary measure. The temporary closure of Letcher County Courthouse has added to the community's distress, disrupting the daily lives of the residents." Judge Kevin Mullins was a respected figure in Letcher County, appointed by former Governor Steve Beshear in 2009 and elected the following year. He was renowned for his dedication to supporting individuals in the justice system struggling with substance abuse. Mullins played a pivotal role in developing programs like addiction recovery care, which offers peer support services in the courthouse and has been adopted in over 50 counties across Kentucky.
Wow.
Mullins was a founding member of the Responsive Effort to Support Treatment in Opioid Recovery Efforts leadership team, further highlighting his commitment to the community welfare and rehabilitation. So it sounds like he's a guy who really knew and saw firsthand, time after time, by people coming through the court system, because ultimately of addiction issues and what led to their crimes, knowing just how important it is to get to the root of those problems rather than just constantly sit there and legislate horrible behavior and punish horrible behavior. Let's get it so people don't do the horrible behavior to begin with. That's very, very admirable.
So my question then, and I'm sure the question for everybody, and I'm hitting enter on my search on this. What in the hell was the motive?
I have no idea.
An argument inside the judge's chambers.
So we know.
What did the judge find out something about the sheriff and things were going to get made public, or he was going to be disciplined? I mean, what the hell are you fighting about?
Well, a judge is not one that's going to discipline the sheriff. If the judge knows something about, it could have been a personal matter as well, because this is, again, it's a small community. The sheriff certainly knows the judge. It may have nothing to do with any sort of case, and you may be on the right track that maybe it was a personal dispute. Maybe there was something going on. I don't know what the hell that could possibly be. I'm not going to speculate, but who knows? Did you find something there? I heard an ooh.
Did. I think I did.
Okay.
So let's see. Preliminary investigation indicates that Shawn Stines shot Kevin Mullins multiple times on Thursday following an argument inside the courthouse. Mullins, who had held the judgeship for 15 years, died at the scene. We talked about that. Just what the two men were arguing about wasn't immediately made clear. Stines was deposed on Monday in a lawsuit filed by two women, one of whom alleged that a deputy forced her to have sex inside Mullins' chambers for 6 months in exchange for staying out of jail. The lawsuit accuses the sheriff of deliberate indifference in failing to adequately train and supervise the deputy.
The woman's claiming to have had forced sex with who?
It says, let me read it again. Stines, this is from News 40, WNKY.
WNKY.
Yeah, right. Stines was deposed on Monday in a lawsuit filed by two women, one of whom alleged that a deputy forced her to have sex inside Mullins' chambers for 6 months in exchange for staying out of jail. The lawsuit accuses the sheriff of deliberate indifference in failing to adequately train and supervise the deputy.
Okay. So I'm okay.
Stines fired Fields. Who's Fields? Ben Fields pleaded guilty to raping the female prisoner while she was on home incarceration. Fields was sentenced this year to 6 months in jail and then 6.5 years probation on just 6 months for rape, sodomy, perjury, and tampering with a prisoner monitoring device.
Here's
6 months.
Here's my speculation. Again, just my conjecture. If you have a deputy that's doing that sort of shit and you find out about it and you're indifferent about it, how likely is it that you're also participating in things of the same nature?
I wonder.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's true. I just know it might be true. Again, just my conjecture. I don't know, but leadership comes from the top down, especially in positions like this.
And here's the thing. If killing somebody is a very, very violent response to something. So what came up that made this law-abiding citizen feel like they needed to kill this judge?
Here's my theory. Could be completely wrong. That maybe the judge confronted the sheriff about this and said, I know that you've been involved in this too.
Yeah.
And he thought, well, if he's the only one who knows this right now, or if I can stop him from prosecuting me or getting this rolling that way, I'm going to do that because I have no other choice because there's like fucking dead to rights or something. I don't know. That's my, if we're doing choose your own adventure, that's where I would go with it.
Well, doesn't it sound like Tellus?
Tellus is a whole fucking other story.
Well, it is,
of
but
sociopathic behavior.
But the reporter who he killed was about to out him on a whole bunch of shit.
Yes, but this sounds very impulsive. I mean, I don't know, unless he just walked back there and did it because he knew ahead of time. Who knows? All I can think of is that maybe it was a spur of the moment, and it was, if it's not premeditated, then it's second degree. But if they have evidence that he knew about something being exposed, then it is premeditated, and that's first degree murder. I don't know. We do not know yet. Again, everything I just said is 1,000% from my fucking brain. It does not mean it is true. But just, I don't know, seeing so many of these stories, that's where it goes. Again, there could be some other totally twisted, different version to all of this. Who knows? Maybe there's an affair. Maybe there's this. Maybe there's that. Who the fuck knows?
Maybe the sheriff showed up with the wrong, with a Big Mac instead of a Whopper.
And he got so insulted by the judge. The judge freaked the fuck out. I said I wanted a Whopper. I want to have it my way. And then, fuck you. You can have it your way. Boom. You think that's how it went?
Maybe.
You never know. What if he wanted Arby's? Nobody ever considers Arby's. And that's...
I do.
And I do too. But I think that's the cardinal sin is people think they don't think enough of the roast beef. And that could be behind this horrible story.
You're in the thick of a true crime saga, every detail sinking in. And then, wham, a commercial about something you couldn't care less about. It's like being served a microwaved dinner at a 5-star restaurant. But it doesn't have to be this way. Go for True Crime Today, Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. With True Crime Today, Premium Plus, you get uninterrupted, ad-free episodes, extended interviews that dig even deeper into the muck, and early access so you can brag to your friends. It's like ordering the secret menu at a crime buffet. So, search for True Crime Today, Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, and savor every twisted detail without interruption.